state your name and your position of your workplace?
My name is Jordan Reed. I am a physical science and chemistry teacher, as well as a cross-country and track coach at E.D. White Catholic High School in Thibodaux.
Okay, how long have you been working at E.D. White?
This is my 9th year as both a teacher and a coach.
And what is your current role as a coach, or what's your position? Are you a head coach, are you assistant coach, all that stuff?
Yeah, for my first 7 years, I was assistant cross-country coach, as well as the distance coach on the track team. But starting last year, I'm full-time as the head cross-country coach, as well as the head boys and girls track coach, which mostly at this point, I mainly still coach the distance squad, but I've taken more responsibility in the sprints as well.
Awesome. So what did you major in college, and did you plan on going this direction? Can you kind of give me a rundown of how that went?
Yeah, I went to college at Nicholls State in Thibodaux, and my intention was to become a physical therapist. So I enrolled in a lot of it was the pre-med route. So really, by the end of the curriculum, I could have gone to med school if I had that option, or physical therapy school. So the major was in biology and the minor was in chemistry. Somewhere along the way, probably my 3rd year in school, I kind of fell out of love with wanting to be a physical therapist, and I was sort of unsure of where I wanted to go with that degree. I was so far into the science degree, I knew I was going to finish it. It's not a bad degree to have. I knew there were a lot of possibilities, whether that be in a lab setting or, I don't know, I kind of knew I'd figure it out. But when I graduated, I was working as a tech at a local physical therapist, when it just so happened a teaching job opened up at my alma mater, high school, and I'd been helping out with the cross-country and track teams at the time. And so where I knew I enjoyed coaching, I didn't know if I would enjoy teaching. So I just kind of jumped into it when they needed a hand. And my first year went well. And after meeting with the principal, it just became a long-term position that I sort of grew to love over time.
Awesome. So being an exercise science major, what advice do you have for me throughout my college years that I should really focus on in my major?
I would say in your major, the science is important, obviously. And if your intention is to end up coaching or, physical training, then obviously having that background will be super important. But what I found, especially having, left with the intention of being a physical therapist but going into teaching, is that the best teachers and the best coaches are not necessarily the most knowledgeable. You need to be knowledgeable, but in practicing in your explaining it to others, you really show how much you know and understand a subject or material when you can easily explain it to somebody else. You've probably had experiences, whether it be with professors or just people you've met, where they almost try to use over technical language. And if you can't understand it as I'm trying to explain it to you, then what's the point anyway? Yes. So I guess my advice would be, as you're learning, practice saying it in a way that the common person could understand. And the better you get at that, you will realize that you are learning it better, but then also you're going to be a more effective teacher or coach or athletic trainer, whatever you decide to become.
Awesome. That's really good advice. If there's anything differently or that you could have done differently throughout your college years or just getting into your career, what would that be?
My college years, funny enough, would be to have taken it more seriously, if I want to say it in those terms, or appreciate it for what it was. I think just getting out of high school where I felt, and this was just, immaturity at the time, where I felt that I put so much hard work in high school that I deserved to enjoy my college years and didn't put as much time into my studies and didn't appreciate it for what it was. And like, I chose this path that I'm supposedly interested in. Why would I not want to get the most out of it instead of just passing the class, doing enough to get the grade that I need? So, I guess things I would change about college would be getting more immersed in the experience and enjoying it, because I was paying for it. I mean, I shouldn't, but that, just immaturity at the time. And then in my teaching career and coaching career, I feel like it was my 9th year, that as I've learned what I don't know, I've done a good job of evolving. But maybe early on, in my younger years, having an ego in coaching, as if like I knew enough. But you spend enough time, you realize that you need to know that there's a lot you don't know, and that every person you meet, you can learn from. And that's been the approach my last few years, that when I meet coaches, whether I think I like their coaching style or not, I always listen to see if there's something I can get from them.
Awesome. So what are your favorite things about your career, whether it be in your day-to-day practices or just overall as a teacher?
It's the people. I didn't realize, I don't think I would ever have called myself like a very social butterfly type person, but I realized that in my profession, what I enjoy so much about coaching is the people I meet and the relationships I make, whether that be with the students and the athletes, or even the parents I get to know along the way. It's those relationships and, the intricacies of those, and like the major breakthroughs you have when you build trust with someone and realizing that you can help someone achieve their own personal goals, but the trust has to come first and the relationship building has to come first. But that's the part I enjoy the most.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I think that's all the questions I have. I really appreciate it. Do you have anything else that you just want to add in there?
No, just like I said earlier, never feel like you know it all. Never stop learning. There's always someone who knows a little something that you don't know. So be a sponge whenever you can be.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right.